Mimic my colleague from California, Mr. Swalwell's statement. You are the leading edge. You are the next phase of combative frontier in the protection of our countries, the cyberspace. We'll no longer fight wars the way that my colleagues and I did in the military with bombs, planes, and guns. It's you. And so thank you for taking and shouldering that weight. To drive a point home real quick, as far as when Mr. Menendez asked what we can do, I think we just need to stay out of your way and give you the autonomy that you need. And understanding that in the cyberspace, when it comes to threat and risk, we're so siloed, and that is an issue. Are you having success in breaking down those silos when it comes to multi-department coordination?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think one of the things that the Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative gave us was the legislation. It's in statute. It's the only cyber entity in statute that says we bring together the federal cyber ecosystem. So not just CISA, but FBI and NSA and Cybercom and other agencies. That's why, it was built to actually break down those silos, and we've been doing that over a short period of time, not just bringing in industry, but bringing in state and local colleagues, bringing in international partners, and then by design, bringing in the federal government. So that is not an easy thing to do, sir.
I wouldn't think so.
We are trying really hard. And I have to say, I joined this job from the private sector, and I thought there were a lot of issues with silos and a lack of cohesion. And so we know what the problem is, and we were working hard to enable us to fix it.
That's great to hear. I'm sure just the sheer scalability is pretty arduous. But as far as operating across multiple cloud services, with our threat hunting teams, are we having success in that? Because everyone's different. I mean, the communication between the two are just completely, they're just Army, Navy to each other. That's the analogy I got. I'm sorry.
Beat Navy.
I was waiting on that one, right? But so my point, if we do have a threat or an active attack in a certain corporation, private department, whatever, do we have success if it can move across multiple domains with CISA's ability to track that, but also notify and prevent?
Yeah, so it's another really, really important question. Let me hit first on the federalcivilian.gov, because we've been looking to make a lot of improvements there. And so we have radically improved visibility that we really didn't have in SolarWinds. And so because of the authorities that we have to put endpoint detection and response capabilities at departments and agencies, we can do that persistent hunting, so we can have that visibility. We also now have something that gives us a dashboard level view to say what's going on at those systems. So that visibility is improving. On cloud providers in particular, there's something called the shared responsibility model. I think, as a military guy, if no one's in charge, no one's in charge. Right. If everyone's in charge, no one's in charge. And so I have a little bit of concern with the shared responsibility model, particularly if it's putting the burden of responsibility on businesses that just don't have the resources to bear it. So I think at the end of the day, cloud providers need to bear the bulk of the security burden, and the visibility should come back to the entity that is contracted with those cloud service providers. And so very important that things like logging, for example, security logs help us understand the nature of a threat and malicious activity. But oftentimes, if a cloud service provider is charging you extra for that security feature, then the customer will lack visibility. So there are things that we need to do to work with cloud providers to ensure that the shared responsibility model is not misplacing the burden on those who can't bear it.